Hey guys, and welcome back to TellerTube. In this video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/EntitledParents. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and stay up to date with my latest videos. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. My mother demands from my unborn daughter. A bit of a backstory. This happened almost 2 years ago. I was 4 months pregnant when this happened. We had just found out the gender of our baby. We had told our parents the week before. Now, my mother has always been controlling and an all-around nightmare, but this time, she really blew everything out of proportion. On to the story. My mother calls me one day, which is not abnormal, and we talk about my second sister. I have two, and I'm the eldest, who had gotten a new boyfriend a month ago and just told everyone that she was engaged. She announced it also a week ago, around the same time I told everyone about my baby's gender. I thought she was going a bit fast, but whatever, it's none of my business. So my mother tells me that she is back to organizing my sister's wedding and making my daughter's dress. My sis was with another guy for 4 years and they were also engaged and were preparing the wedding, but he cheated on her and left her. And then the conversation went like this. My mom goes, "So, since you have a daughter, I will have to make her a dress as well for the wedding." I go, sure? We have a bit of time before that, don't you think? When is sis planning on getting married anyways? Did they set out a date? My mom goes, "Not really, but think of doing it in 2 years' time." I go, "Oh, okay. So your daughter should be walking by then, I think so. She'll be able to carry out your sis's veil with the other children." I go, "Well, we'll see." "What do you mean, we'll see?" "Well, she isn't even born yet, so maybe it's better not to plan things so far ahead." My mom goes, "No, it will be fine, and we'll do it as I said." I go, "Mom, we'll see. That's all I can say. So let's change the topic, please." My mom goes, "I have to hang up anyway." And she hangs up in my face. I was a bit shocked, but I thought she would sulk as usual, and that it would be over after 2 weeks of cold shoulder from her. The next day, I get a call from my youngest sis, who was living with my parents at the time. She was 16. She warned me that my mother blew the F up and actually cried and said that I had completely screwed the image that she had of my daughter. Like, what the frick? And that she didn't feel like my daughter's grandma anymore. So I decided to call her to clear things out because I didn't understand her reaction. Sure enough, she was cold shouldering me, but I'm used to that. So I asked her what the matter was. My mom goes, "How could you tell me we'll see when I told you about your daughter carrying the veil? That was not okay. It was very disrespectful for me and to your sis as well." I called her afterwards and she didn't even know what I was talking about. I go, "Mom, I told you that we shouldn't plan anything before she's at least born. I'm only 4 months pregnant. Just calm yourself." My mom goes, "I can't be calm. How can you deny me the chance to imagine my granddaughter?" I go, "What?" Also, I haven't talked about it with boyfriend, and maybe he doesn't want our daughter to do that. And maybe my daughter won't want to do it too. I'm not going to force her just for your benefit. My mom goes, "You better do it, because I will tell everyone you ruined your sis's wedding. And it's tradition, so you have no choice really. And your boyfriend doesn't have a say since it's in our family." I go, "And he is her father." I was getting frustrated by then. "And I told you maybe. What more do you want from me?" My mom goes, "I told all my friends at work, and they all told me that it was cute. So you should just have told me that your daughter carrying the veil was cute and shut the F up." Every time she's arguing with someone, she tells everybody she meets to be seen as the victim. Well, I'm telling you now that it's a no. And I hang up. For once, I stood up because it was for my daughter, and I cold-shouldered her for a month. Of course, she told everyone that I was such an ungrateful brat, but I didn't care, and she came back to me after a while and acted like nothing had happened. I let her because I didn't want to deprive my daughter of her grandmother, but sometimes I ask myself if I shouldn't have stayed away. "Your dog could have killed my children, even if they were trespassing." So my back garden has a large fence with a hedge along it. This is mirrored with a house on the opposite. The neighbors who live on the other side of the fence are alright, bit weird and quirky, but for the most part, they're fine. They have 2 young girls, I'd say aged 3 and 4, very friendly, always shouting through the fence, making conversation. They're great. Also in the story is my fluffball, who's now a big fluffball German Shepherd. She's good with kids, but quite defensive of her area. You can see where the story is going. Now, Fluffball does like to bark at these girls through the fence. It's dense and about 15 feet high, so she is purely barking at them playing. When this happens, I go out and call her back in as she is fairly loud. This brings me to yesterday. It was nice out, so I had the back door open. Fluffball running inside and out playing with her toys. I hear the barking start again as per usual, when the young girls are outside playing. I go out, walk her back inside, speak to the kids as normal, and go back to my movie. A few minutes go by and the barking starts again. I finish the scene I was watching and mooch outside to collect her again. This time, her head is kinda in the hedge. There is small gaps in the fence, so I suppose she's getting a better look. I go out and pull Fluffball out of the hedge, and the two girls are sitting in the hedge, on our side of the fence. God knows how they got over it. They are in there, poking Fluffball with a stick in the face. Of course, Dog is going completely mental kill mode. Small snack-sized children, stranger in her property, being poked in the face. I actually felt sick. If Fluffball had gotten into that hedge, she could have mauled them. I take Dog back inside and close the door so she can't come out. Help the two girls out of the hedge and ask what the frick were they doing, nicely. They said they wanted to play with the doggy. I let them off. They're two young kids, probably have no idea what potential danger they could have been in. In comes entitled mother and entitled father. The top parents who, throughout all of this, were sitting in their garden having a smoke. I call to them. They come over to the edge of the fence that has no hedge by it. Their first thing they blurt out is, "What the frick are you doing with my kids? You abducting them?" Okay then. I explained the situation. Parents blamed me for allowing them to climb the fence. Interesting point of view. I go on with how my dog could have seriously injured them. You need to keep a better eye on them. Obviously, me questioning their perfect parenting crossed the line. I passed the girls back over the fence to entitled father who is staring at me with the devil's eyes, and nothing more was said. Today, bang 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 on the door. Animal control officer and a police officer at the door. Claims I have been reported for owning a dangerous dog and that it has bitten a young neighbor. Slightly confused, I invited them in. Fluffball charges past me and jumps up at them trying to lick their faces. She likes people once she sees them. I explain my side of the story and says one of the girls have a cut on her arm, which is strange because I was the one that took them out of the hedge and checked them over. There was no cut. After talking for a while longer, they leave and will get back to me after they've spoken to the family, which still hasn't happened yet. But you have to have babies. Alright, here's a fun one for you. This happened the other day while my girlfriend and I were out for dinner. Gotta love when baby rabies entitled parents ruin date night. So my girlfriend and I try to do dinner dates at least once a week. We're busy a lot, so it's nice to take some time to just enjoy each other's company. We went to one of our favorite noodle spots and had just ordered when a family came and sat down next to us. 2 kids, their parents, and who I assume was their grandma. The younger woman called her mom. Now for context, my girlfriend is trans and currently on HRT, but she doesn't yet pass, a term she and I really don't like, and is often mistaken for a man. We were holding hands, grinning, just being generally adorable. In comes entitled grandma, who had been watching us since she sat down. "Oh, I just love seeing young couples," she said, first to her daughter, and then again to us. "How long have you two been together?" We get this question quite a bit, so I answered and said it would be 3 years in June. Hell yeah. "Oh my, 3 years? That's a long time. Surprised not to see a ring on that finger. You should while you can, young man." My girlfriend didn't correct her because safely, we never know how people will respond, and given her recent experience, she was pretty wary. I didn't say anything because that's her decision to make, not mine. She did say that she was planning to, but not until after we graduate and have stable jobs and salaries. "Oh, you two are students? Well, you should still get on it. Can't wait too long or you won't be having any babies." I instantly cringed. Children are not something I've ever wanted, and my girlfriend feels the same way. Girlfriend deflected and said we would focus on getting through school and finding a place to live before anything else. Thankfully, our food arrived and we started eating, but entitled grandma wasn't done with us yet. "My daughter had her first son after only 2 years with her husband," she said to us. Her daughter looked mortified and whispered to her mother to cut it out. Entitled grandma ignored her. "Always better to start sooner. The more you can make, the better." At this point, I was just about done, and I told entitled grandma, as kindly as I could, that kids weren't in the cards for us, and that we were just trying to enjoy our date night. My girlfriend was inhaling her noodles as fast as she could, and giving me the eat and let's go look. Entitled Grandma, however, was aghast. "What do you mean you don't want to have babies?" she asked, much louder than I was comfortable with. "Just look at how sweet my little ones here are. You have to give your future husband some babies." At this point, girlfriend chimed in and said that she didn't want any either. And could Entitled Grandma please leave us alone? And we aren't really comfortable discussing our reproductive plans, or lack thereof, with a stranger. Entitled Grandma's daughter was trying to keep her kids calm and silent with her mom, while her husband just sat there, head in his hands. Clearly not their first circus. "What will your parents say?" Entitled Grandma continued. "Surely it would be wrong of you to deny them their grandbabies." I had it, but managed to keep it in until Entitled Grandma turned to her daughter, who's by now telling her to shut up, and said, "What, dear? I just think it's selfish." I snapped that the only selfish thing was that I was being expected to provide my parents with a grandchild by a stranger who didn't even know me but saw fit to insert herself in my personal life and into my date night. Girlfriend had inhaled the rest of her noodles in record time. I was only about halfway through mine, but I didn't care. We flagged down the waitress, got the check, and slapped down some cash, plus extra for the tip. I felt really bad about leaving half my food there, unfinished, before getting up to leave. Entitled Grandma was still grumbling about how I was denying my husband and parents, and his parents too. And before we left, girlfriend leaned in and said, "By the way, I'm not her husband. I'm her wife," before whisking me out the door. Cue a lovely glimpse of a very sour face from Entitled Grandma as we left. Girlfriend stopped by the pizza place and bought me a slice because I didn't finish my dinner, and we talked about what had just happened. She was pissed and upset about being called a guy, hence why she threw that little bit in at the end. And I was shaken up because I hate when strangers accost me about my family plans. Not the first time this has happened to me. It's a sensitive subject for me, mainly because of reasons why I don't want kids. Luckily, girlfriend and I went home and had a movie night, so all wasn't lost. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like, what the heck? You have to have babies. Even if I don't know you, you still have to have babies. How could you be so selfish? Gosh. Crazy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content, and comment down below on some other video ideas you guys want to see. Anyways, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.